welcome to the Playground Podcast. Today's guest is a very special dear friend of mine, Zahra Abdalla, who I've seen grow and make amazing things happen over the years. Zahra, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
What are you up to these days? Because I see the amazing food content that you're making online, but what else are you up to?
So my journey's been very exciting. I have to say, one of growth. As you know, I started my food blogging journey over 15 years ago. And since then, I've had the privilege of publishing 2 cookbooks, hosting a series of TV shows on NBC 1, NBC 3.
In Arabic?
In Arabic.
Oh my God.
I know, in Arabic. And then a couple of years ago, I launched Zahra's Kitchen, which is a homegrown frozen food brand.
Love it.
And
so yummy, guys. You have to try it.
And
it's in Spinneys, right?
Yeah, so we're in 8 retailers across the city. Oh. And my latest exciting venture is Wild Spatula.
Okay.
Which is basically a creative culinary production studio.
Okay.
So we create content for brands. We've become good at it. We've created a lot of content for my Cooking with Zahra platform. So now why not support brands to share their story, their narrative through food. And food is an incredible medium to express and talk about so many things.
And that's from Zahra, the amazing chef in the kitchen, who basically makes any recipe look like it's this easy, like in 2 minutes. But look, I love that. So growth, this came from passion, right? Because do you have any, you've just made this happen, created this business because you've been doing food reels and content for such a long time, and you kind of just, how did you end up launching a content creation company for food?
There's a superpower that I've discovered that I have.
Tell me.
I'm a generator. I'm a manifester. Whatever I want, I get. I don't always get it when I want it, but I get it.
So you believe in the power of attraction?
I believe in the power of me.
Okay, so because I'm a huge believer of manifestation and power of attraction. What are your top tips if you want to attract something into your life, whether it's a husband or kids or a specific career or job?
Mindset is very important.
Okay.
And every day I'm working on how to develop that mindset. It's a journey that I've kind of worked towards getting into. It's a state of mind that didn't come overnight. It's really one of practice. I was very young when I had kids. I was 28 years old.
Oh my God.
And I stumbled into the responsibility of motherhood, sleepless nights. I put a hold on my career. I went through, I had a health scare or had a health issue. And my 30s was a period of time where I was really exhausted, tired. My energy vibration was super low. I didn't have anything to give others, let alone myself. And there was a pivotal time where I was watching the journey of a close friend of mine. And I called her up and I said to her, Helen, I like what you're doing. I want to attract that same energy. I want to embody the same energy that you have. What do I need to do?
Is Helen somebody we know, or?
Helen is someone you need to bring on this podcast. She is an incredible human being. She is a mother of 2. She is an entrepreneur. She is a thought leader. She is an Ironman competitor. She's someone who one day decided that she's going to complete the Ironman, and within 18 months learned how to swim and cycle.
Oh my God.
And within 18 months was on a race. I mean, how powerful is that?
Okay, tell me her method straight away. I want to know how you attract things in your life.
Look, you really need to work on changing mindset.
Okay.
I started off by reading this book by Jack Canfield, The Principles of Success. Mm-hmm. And she gave me homework. She said, you read it twice. The first time you just read it from one end to the other. And the second time you read it like a student with a highlighter and notebook, and you highlight and you notes and you summarize and you absorb.
Okay.
And there was a journey of kind of looking back and kind of patting yourself on the shoulder and keeping stock of what you've done, because we forget what we've achieved. We forget how many good things we're good at. and we're always waiting for someone else to tell us, oh, good job. No, tell yourself good job.
Do you think that's a woman thing?
No,
Okay.
no. I think it's a human thing.
Okay.
Women may have it more, but I can see it also in men.
Okay.
And then
So give yourself a pat on the back, guys, at all times.
Yeah.
Boys and girls.
And the most important is start dreaming.
Okay, because I dream big.
Me too. And one of the biggest problems a lot of people have is they want a better life, but they don't know what they want. So start defining, start dreaming, start planning, and then executing. And it happens.
Okay, so you don't actually sit and make a, what is it, that board?
A mood board?
A mood board.
Do if it works for you.
Okay.
I do it in different ways.
Okay.
I do it in different ways. One of my favorite things to do is I treat myself as a business.
Yeah.
I have a 5-year strategy plan, and I have my 1-year strategy plan, and then I have my monthly and my quarterly and my weekly.
Okay, yep, that sounds familiar. I'm the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
It's very normal, guys. If you're OCD like us, it's normal.
And I plan, or I manifest what I want from a personal, from a financial, from a health, from a travel, from a career. And alhamdulillah,
It comes.
I just go.
Okay.
I'm a generator.
Love it. So you said your 30s were tough and you also had a health scare.
That's right.
Tell me about that.
So I was pregnant with my 3rd child, and I was diagnosed with cancer.
While you were pregnant.
I was pregnant.
How did you pick up on that? Like,
It was my housekeeper. I came home one day and she's like, you've got something bulging on your throat. And, I knew because I was checking on it for a few years. And so I was very matter of fact about it. I had to go in. I had to wait for my child to come full term. There were talks about having surgery earlier, and I refused. I wasn't going to risk the anesthesia impacting my child. I could have lost the baby. Mama bear vibes kicked in hard. Mm-hmm. So I had my child, and then after I had to do the surgery, then I had to do radioactive iodine, and then I had to heal. And I didn't, if I was going to say something which I would go back and redo, it was I'd give myself time to mourn.
okay.
Because I didn't mourn the cancer. And then I got angry. And then I was very angry for a while. But then I was also compounded with the fact that I was tired.
Yeah.
My energy vibrations were super low. And then you find a way. I'm a fighter.
Yeah.
And I navigated out of it. I wasn't going to stay in this state of mind. I wanted better for myself. But more importantly, I wanted better for myself to be a better mom to my kids.
Yeah. So they drove you to basically just fight this and move on.
Yeah. It was either go to therapy or go on meds.
Which one did you do?
Therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you believe in therapy?
100%.
Okay.
Actually, I'd go so far, I'd say, don't have kids until you have therapy. Everyone has trauma.
Okay.
Navigate through them. Become a better person inside. Not that you're a bad person without therapy, but you're a much more healthier, leaner, cleaner thought machine, energy machine. You're
So just
better.
knowing what is wrong with you, what you need to work on before
Yeah.
you go and...
The worst thing as a mom is when you start screaming at your kids for the wrong reasons. You think it's because they spilled the milk, but really it's about something else. Go figure out. It's not their fault. They're kids. They're allowed to spill milk. They're allowed to make mistakes. Go figure yourself out so that you can raise healthy humans. We need better humans in this world because the world is hurting today, and there's a lot of people with too much trauma, and we can see the consequences of all their baggage.
Yeah. Wow. Did you have therapy before you had kids?
No,
Okay. So after the cancer.
I didn't have any major traumas.
Okay.
We have this definition that therapy only happens
Yeah.
if something really bad happened to you. But no, it could be something as silly as, at school, the kid said something to you and it hurt your feelings. So now you always think anytime something happens, it impacts.
Right.
My nephew was having a little bit of an issue at school, and then we found out that the boy that was creating the drama for him was a boy that had a father that was just
Abusive?
no. He just I think he had a health issue. He was like a vegetable. So he didn't have a father figure in his house. So this kid was angry. You know, he was frustrated. He wanted a fatherly love and he didn't have it. So he took out his frustration out at school. And so then my nephew took it as personalized it himself, took it in himself, thinking something was wrong with him. When it was, the boy had his own problem and my nephew was taking it in, thinking that he was the problem, when no, it wasn't. So here a trauma was just created unnecessarily. But if you had a healthy mindset, you can help your child navigate through it, which we were able to do so.
Wow. So now, okay, I've never had a mom that has teenagers on the podcast here. Okay. You are the first teenager's mother to join us.
Okay.
Raising teenagers, in my mind right now, I mean, I think my parents had it really tough with me, but I feel like it's going to get harder and harder with TikTok and Instagram. No, it's so much. It's like you have this, you're raising your kids at home, but also you've got so much force coming in from outside, whether it's school or different cultures. Or tell me, and especially that you guys also are such a mixed family. I mean, let's just let our audience know, what is the mix? How mixed are your kids?
So I'm half Iranian, half Sudanese.
Sudan, guys. First Sudanese guest on the show, actually, other than me, but you know.
Half Iranian, half Sudanese. And my Sudanese side is also very diluted because I've got Indian and Egyptian background mixed in there.
You need to do the DNA test.
Yes, I do. And then my husband is Palestinian Jordanian.
Okay, so your kids define as what?
They think they're Jordanian, Palestinian Jordanian.
Okay, and do they speak Farsi?
No, unfortunately not.
Very naughty. But you speak it fluently, right?
So they understand.
Okay.
But we focused on Arabic and Mandarin as the languages. Yeah.
Okay, so how is it going with teenagers? 3 boys, right?
I mean, knock on wood.
Mashallah.
I have awesome kids.
Okay.
They're really cool. They're amazing human beings. One of the first things I did, and it's a book that I recommend, I love to read. I read about self-growth. I read about parenting. When my husband always laughs at me, he's like, you're always just learning. You're always out to learn. There's so much knowledge. There's so much information. And the best way to live is through experience. And sometimes that experience is given through words. One of my favorite books is Strong Mothers, Strong Sons. I can't remember the name of the author, but I will share it with you. An example. I'm tired. I don't want to go to football today. I don't want to do it. It's 3 times a week and I don't want to go to it. No, you made a commitment and you stick to the commitment. If I said, okay, no, maybe that child will think, oh, mama doesn't think I'm strong enough. By enforcing that you need to go, they know that I believe in them and I believe that they're strong enough.
Okay.
So there's this balance of not pushing so hard that you break them, but you push hard enough where they can really see how strong they actually are in achieving whatever they want. They have to go through the process of discomfort and crack it. And once they get comfortable at cracking that discomfort, then they're going to be humans that are going to succeed in whatever parts of their life. And so...
By discomfort, would you say it's sort of like making mistakes?
Discomfort can come in different ways.
Okay.
Making mistakes, failing. I mean, I encourage my kids to fail. I get upset when I get a report card from the teacher where they're perfect. That means they're not good teachers. When a teacher comes and says how perfect my child is, I feel that they're lazy.
This is the second time we hear this. Okay. I had another guest last week say the same thing. Okay, carry on.
What can my child focus on to improve? My son was a perfectionist, and that's why he was always really good in what he did. Have you taught my child how to fail? Have you cracked that perfectionist mentality, which is a character of a failed person?
Okay, interesting.
I don't want perfection. Perfection is limiting, it's controlling, it's not good, in my opinion. Obviously, everything I'm saying is my opinion.
This is really interesting.
So I want my kid to fail. If you failed, then fantastic. You're ready to grow.
Okay, because then obviously it works on their ego. I feel like there's so many people that have ego issues these days.
It's crippling. It's crippling. Yeah. It's very crippling. If you have a perfectionist mentality, you will struggle to write an essay because if the sequence of words are not perfect according to what you think it should be, you will never submit.
Yeah.
But you have to write a draft 10 times before you get to that place where you say, I'm happy with it.
And you've adopted this with all 3 boys?
Yeah.
Okay. You started at what age? Like, give me
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
Wow.
I mean, I'll tell you, I have really cool boys. My eldest, he's doing his GCSEs next year. He has a full schedule school load. He plays basketball 4 days a week, 2 hours each session. He volunteers helping special need athletes in CrossFit. He is just this super, and he's so like he's fun to talk to, engage, debate. He sometimes tells me off, like if I've done something wrong. He's a cool cat, and that applies to all 3 of them in different ways.
Do you want to come raise my girls?
And they don't give me trouble. Like I get a lot of parents that say, "Do they give you trouble?" Look, my kids can give me trouble if they want to. They can lie to me if they want to. They can do. I mean, look. They are not perfect. They do have moments where they'll be sneaky and naughty, but they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to not always follow the rules. They're allowed to not always be so perfect. Because if they are, then I have just created another layer of trauma on them where they're terrified of me and they're just faking a persona.
So fear doesn't work?
No, I don't believe in fear.
No fear, guys.
No
Please
fear.
Stop. It's so 1970s. Stop.
Oh, it's super old school.
Fear doesn't work. Friendship?
At a certain time.
Okay. So then what do we do in between?
Right now, we're coaching. Right now, I'm
okay,
their
what do I
coach.
do at the toddler stage?
You are setting strict boundaries. Yeah.
They're tough, especially with big personalities.
Oh, yes. I'm still in that strict personality, strict mama mode with my youngest. I haven't transitioned to coach yet.
Okay.
Once they turn 18, I'm their friend.
Oh, so much to think about. Okay, so then tell me about how you went from the craziness of your 30s and having kids and this health scare that you've basically walked out of as a stronger woman, I want to say. What are you doing now in your 40s? How are your 40s different?
As a mother, I find that we are the heart and pulse and the core of the family.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
Right? How we behave and how we are really impacts everybody else. And I look at
energy. Yeah.
It really does. And I look at our family as a core. When I was in my 30s down, and I think I was depressed in my 30s. I'm convinced I was depressed. I was overweight. I was unhealthy. I was tired. I was someone that had to be where they were to be who I am today. I don't regret where I was in my 30s, but my 30s allowed me to, I would say, bloom to where I am in my 40s. But I look at this as a family, and I think, alhamdulillah, when I started to work on myself and when I started to kind of self-care, everyone started to mimic.
Really?
Everyone started to be healthier. Everyone started to be more athletic. Everyone started to focus on themselves. And all of a sudden, there was that attractive energy where we all, as a family, were doing well. We're mentally well. We're healthy. And like my husband, who was totally no to yoga, he's doing yoga with me twice a week. He knows I go to the gym. He's going to the gym. My kids are going to the gym. Mama, I'm going to go to the gym for a couple of hours. I need to focus on core strengthening or whatever. So everyone's like, we're all doing it at the same time.
Maybe there's hope for my husband if he's watching this, please. Yoga, Pilates, gym, anything, please join me. Okay, so that's really interesting. I feel like it does make a huge difference. The energy of the mom is everything. I mean, I remember growing up when my mom was stressed out, we would get this weird anxiety.
Yeah.
So on this podcast, for some reason, the partners always come up because I guess it is a parenting podcast.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know from my experience that having kids, changed the dynamics of my relationship with my husband. Tell me about that. When you were going through that tough phase in your 30s, tell me about your marriage and your relationship with your partner.
So
what changed, if anything?
One thing I can tell you is that my relationship with my husband, with every year that passes, becomes stronger and stronger and stronger.
How long have you guys been married for
We're
now?
nearly 19 years.
MashaAllah, okay.
We're learning to argue better with each other. Our fights are not so, self-depreciating or just, our fights, I'm a passionate person, he's a passionate person. When we fight, we're like, rah, and then we
It's an Iranian and a Palestinian, Jordanian, it's fire.
Yeah. And usually, sometimes it might take 1 or 2 days for us to get over it, which is a bit lame, but that was our journey. Today, I remember, it was actually last week, we had an argument with each other, and
what do you argue about after 19 years, Zahra? I'm curious.
it's silly things. And I remember literally 5 minutes later, he acknowledged why I was upset, and that's key. The reason why the fights would extend is when the other partner would take it defensively, and then no one was willing to acknowledge.
Right.
And so he acknowledged, I felt seen and heard, and we moved on. And that's it. But it took us years to kind of
find
it's like a puzzle. You're working on how to figuring it out, and you figure out how everything clicks into place, and that's what it is. I would say that my husband was terrified during the whole cancer journey. He tried to be like a typical man, very solid, very grounded. He was the man. He was going to take care of everything, and he gave me that space to know that I could lean on him. But in hindsight, I can tell you, I don't know if someone was taking care of him. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like I'm making up for it now, because now that I'm in a better space, I feel like now I'm there to be a better partner, to kind of say, okay, I know you had a tough time, but I'm here for you now. Don't feel like life's burden is yours to carry on your own. I'm able to support you in every way.
Yeah.
And so that's a really nice feeling.
So then what advice would you give a lot of young people who are going through that kind of crazy first 5 to 10 years of marriage?
I haven't thought about this one. I have thought about a lot of things. I haven't thought about this one. I would say, look, not all men are equal. So I got lucky. I had someone who was solid. When if your gut this is it. If your gut feels like he's good people, stick around, work on it, be patient. Don't take things personally. Don't define and assume you are always this and you are always that. Just kind of like sometimes sit back, reflect, think about it, communicate clearly. Don't say you did this, more like I felt this. Bring emotional words into the place so that there's no defensive fighting. Because when it becomes defensive, it's a losing game for both parties. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody's journey is different. So I don't know, if he's good people and your guts and core says he is, which in my case, don't give up.
Don't give up. I think giving up is always the easy way out, isn't it?
And don't share your drama with anybody. Keep it between you and your partner only. Never share your drama with family. Never share your with friends. No, it's yours to keep and navigate. Go to a therapist if you need to, but don't hang your laundry out.
So, as most of our viewers are women who have just had babies or have kids who are approaching the teenage phase as well, what coming out of your 30s and that crazy journey, and mashallah, you've done so well.
My love, I'm in my mid-40s.
Coming out of your 30s and heading into your 40s, Zahra. If you're comfortable saying it, then we'll say
Absolutely, super proud.
So it gets better, firstly.
I love my 40s. Okay. The 40s are the best decade.
I feel like, you thought your 20s would be the best because you kind of like know yourself, and then in your 30s you have money and you're a lot more independent, but then you're telling your 40s are even better.
It's incredible.
Incredible. Okay, can't wait for my 40s.
Yeah.
Another decade, but with all of this, like, what is the final thing that you would leave if you were to go back to Zahra and give her like some advice before you went through all of this? And by the way, these things that you went through in your 30s, a lot of people around me are going through them. Obviously not the health scare, but like the challenges, the tiredness, being overweight, being not happy. What is the advice that you'd give Zahra?
You are enough.
You are enough. Okay, and final question that I absolutely love. What does success look like to you? As a parent, you're in your 70s, you're at home, based on like where your kids, based like what are you sitting there, what would make you smile?
Being present, hearing, seeing, feeling everybody around me. A kitchen full of clitter clatter, everyone's leaning in and helping and eating, laughter. It wouldn't hurt to live by the sea. I want the ocean in front of me.
Okay.
And having my husband next to me, my children next to me, and maybe grandkids.
Maybe grandkids. Love it. So you're the queen of food, right? And being a mom and having to make sure that there's amazing, healthy food at home, what would be your tips?
Zahra's Kitchen was created purely to support myself, but also a lot of mommies out there. I understand how life gets busy. I understand how sometimes we don't have enough time on our hands. And for me, it's really important that my kids eat healthy, wholesome, good food.
Okay.
And Zahra's Kitchen was created for myself, but other moms as well.
Okay.
So I always have my freezer stocked with different snacks and nibbles, perfect for school lunches, for last minute after school guests coming over, for play dates. Well, not play dates anymore, but teenage boys who are super hungry. And just, it's always there ready on demand. And I do this with my snacks and nibbles, but also I have certain meals that I'll pre-make and freeze. A bolognese sauce or a certain stew.
Okay.
And some marinated chicken that's just ready to be air fried, for example. And what I always do, because I have 3 boys that are growing and always hungry, and boy, the boys eat. They're always hungry. I have these really nice boxes that I get from Homesmith, and they're made specially for fruits and vegetables. So I'll have like 6 boxes stacked. And inside will be blueberries, strawberries, cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, any fruits that they like. And they literally will go in, take the box, hoover the food down, and then put it empty back into the fridge because, of course, it has to go back in empty. And they're always satisfied. It's about having healthy snacks, nibbles. I always have cheese pre-cut, and everyone's ready to go. And I actually also consume them myself because, you know, sometimes in the middle of the day you'll get tired and you need energy and you want something healthy and easy to go on the go. So yeah.
I like that. Okay, so basically pre-make everything if possible.
Food prep is key.
Okay.
Shopping, like meal planning, grocery shopping, like know what you're making. First of all, not only is it less pressure on you on what to make, but you're actually going to be more sustainable because you're not going to overbuy unnecessary things. You buy exactly what you need. And if you want, even pre-make them one batch cooking and put them all in the freezer. So
I like that. Cool. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Always make extra bolognese sauce. You will never go wrong.
Yeah.
It works as a lasagna base. It works as a spaghetti bolognese base. And you can also do it as an eggplant feta.
Oh my gosh. Guys, please check out Zahra's Instagram. It's just full of amazing recipes. And her books. Her books are phenomenal. Her shakshuka, I actually use that recipe. Amazing. Super easy, super yummy. Thank you so much, Zahra, for today.
Thank you.
It was awesome. What can we look forward to other than all the amazing things that you're doing? What else is on the table for Zahra for the rest of 2024?
Well, we are working on expanding our range in Zahra's Kitchen.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll be in the local hypermarkets in UAE.
Nice.
And for Wild Spatula, we're going to be the go-to company for all of the F&B brands for us to create content.
So F&B brands, content creation. Thank you, Zahra.
Thank you.
Love you. Thank you. Thanks, guys.